In this unit, we'll set up a custom workspace tailored to things we'll be doing in later chapters of our InDesign course. We're going to build a typical workspace for fast production work. Let's begin by adding the Swatches button to the same panel group as Stroke and Color. We're going to do that by first placing our cursor in this dark gray dotted border above the Swatches button. Hold the mouse button down and then drag your cursor between the Stroke and the Color buttons in the side dock. You know you hit the right spot because you'll see it highlighted in color, just like it is right here. When you get to that spot, release the mouse button, and that'll add the swatches to what we're going to call our coloring panel group. Now, we want to take the color palette and place that between the stroke and swatches. So we're going to do that next. Place our cursor on the color palette, hold the mouse button down, and drag that in between the stroke and the swatches. When you hit the right spot, release the mouse button, and they'll be in that order. Now, if you would, please click on the stroke button and open up the nested panel group. Notice that the tabs are arranged in order from left to right: stroke, color, swatches, the same way that the buttons are arranged in the panel group from top, middle, and bottom. Let's close that panel by clicking on the two triangles that point to the right at the top right of that panel group. And let's go open up some new buttons that we want to put into that side dock. Select the Window, Styles, Character Styles menu command. When we do that, it'll open up a nested panel pair consisting of character styles and paragraph styles. Both of them, as we can see, these tabs are placed in the same nested panel group. Now, if you would, take your cursor, place it in that dark gray bar at the top of the panel group, hold the mouse button down, and drag it between our character and our paragraph buttons in the side dock. When you hit the right spot, release the mouse button, and they'll become part of that nested panel group. Notice the difference between the styles and the character buttons. Both the character styles and the paragraph styles buttons have two small fill and stroke boxes set off the characters that look actually just like the fill and stroke proxies that we have loaded right over here in our toolbox. Let's go back to the side dock. Hold the mouse button down as you place your cursor between the document window and the side dock, and drag it to the left till we get to the point to where we can see all the type on the side dock buttons. We're going to add a few more buttons to this. The next button we're going to add we'll get by going to the Window, Text Wrap menu command. Clicking on that opens the Text Wrap panel as shown right here. Since you've soldiered through all the units in Chapter 1 and we're almost finished, let me offer you a bonus preview of something that we'll do again later in this InDesign course, and that's create an object text wrap. Remember that oval that we used to place text on a path? The one we created 3 units back? We're going to use that for our demonstration. If you're working on a Windows PC like I am here today, use the keyboard shortcut Control-0 to go back into that fit in window view. If you're working on the Mac, the keyboard shortcut is Command-0 to go to that fit in window view. Now go to your toolbox and get your selection tool. Then place your cursor in the middle of the oval and click to select that oval. Hold the mouse button down and drag it down and to the right so that that oval overlaps on the lower left-hand corner the text frame that we've got, just like so. With that oval still selected, let's go to the text wrap panel. The default setting, the one with the button with a bunch of lines running through a box, is the No Text Wrap button. Click on the button next to that, the Wrap Around Box button, and click on it. When you do that, you'll see that it actually pushes that type off outside of the bounding box around our oval. To show what our text wrap area is, what we're going to do is we're going to place a margin all the way around that. First, make sure that your link button is selected just as it shows right here on the screen. Then take any of the edit boxes and double click by that number and type in 0.25 to place a 1/4 inch space all the way around our bounding box. And when you hit the tab key, you'll see that all 4 of those edit boxes is changed to that level. That's because we've got this link button selected on the panel. But as we look at the oval, we can also see that there's a blue line outside of the bounding box. That's the one with the 8 anchor points. That is our offset area. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our cursor and we're going to click on the 3rd button from the left, the Wrap Around Object Shape button. When I select that, you'll see that the offset area curves outside of the shape of the oval, and that the type runaround takes the shape of that offset oval area. Pretty spiffy, huh? Let's keep that panel too, because we'll be using it later. Place your cursor on the dark gray bar above the panel, hold the mouse button down, and drag it just below the last panel group in our side dock, just like so. You'll know we hit the right spot because it'll show a colored highlight under the last panel group, just like this. Release the mouse button to place the text wrap button in the side dock. We're almost ready to save our custom workspace. We need to add 3 more buttons to the side dock. 2 will be in their own separate side dock group. The last will be placed inside what we're calling the coloring panel group. Let's get the separate panel buttons first. Select the Window, Object and Layout, Align menu command to open the Align panel. By default, you'll see that it's tabbed with the Pathfinder panel in a nested panel group. Drag that panel group under the Text Wrap button in the side dock. When you hit the right spot, release the mouse button and place it there. For our last panel, select the Window, Color, Gradient menu command to open up the Gradient panel. Once you've got that, click and hold the mouse button down in the dark gray bar in the top and drag it into your side dock between the Color and Swatches buttons, just like so. We want to save this workspace layout to use for following chapters for our InDesign course. So select the Window, Workspace, New Workspace menu command right here to open the New Workspace dialog box. Type TT class for our total training class and then click on the OK button, just like so. When you do that, notice at the top of the screen here in our menu bar that it shows that we're now using the TT class workspace. When you click on that label at the top of our InDesign application window here, just like so, you'll see that your new custom workspace is listed at the very top with a number of pre-made workspaces that are listed below. The Essentials workspace is available by default when you first open InDesign CS6. The New in CS6 workspace highlights new commands and features in the pull-down menus with different colors so you can quickly see what's changed in the latest version of the program. And we'll be working with the Digital Publishing workspace when we get to the interactive publishing chapter of our InDesign CS6 course. But since we've saved our custom workspace, we can always return to this layout by opening the Window, Workspace menu command and selecting TT class, which is listed right up the top here, just as we saw to the right of our menu bar. We'll be discussing other ways to customize how InDesign works for you in subsequent chapters, starting with the next one, where we will build a promotional fold-down business card and flyer.